Guys, welcome back to another video. What do we have today? We have a 2016 Citroen Dispatch Peugeot Expert, whatever we're going to call it. It is a Citroen, but it's the same brand or model. What's actually happening to this car is she's popping out of fifth gear. Popping out of fifth gear when the man is driving along, just into gear, and she'll boom, pop out. So he was asking if we replace or change the gearbox. I don't want to pull the gearbox out of it. I'm going to try and go for a shorter cut. And what is the shorter cut? And I've done this years ago, but not recently. Years ago on a car, Toyota Corolla, I think it was, I had discovered that fifth gear is just sitting outside the outside of the gearbox. I'm not a gearbox man, so I'm not going to tell you I'm very au fait with these things, but in underneath that cover there is where fifth gear is. Now, what have I done and what have I got? Sitting there, I have one of these covers and fifth gear sitting in there. I have taken it off just for familiarity so I don't break this gearbox. But we're going to go in. There's 6 or 8 bolts on the outside. That actual top-up, what do you call it? Gear oil fill bone plug, whatever you want to call it. Take out all these, pop off the cover, and once we pop off the cover, then it should be relatively easy in there. There's two, actually only taking one. There's 2 32 nuts. I'm going to take off one of them and I'm going to get off a few clips. There's a little pin going through the selector here that gets driven up, and this thing should change relatively easy. So maybe it might help someone to make a shorter repair on one of these things. But in here, quite fast, quite easy. 11s, and that's 19. Okay, so we're going to wrap these out of it and see what we find. Okay. Cover is off. You can see this. The little pin is that little pin right there. So I'm going to tap that up the way from down here. I'm going to use an extension on a punch and just tap it up the way. That's what I done in the other one. Here is our 32 nut. I have 2 of them there, but I'm not going to take off this one. I'm just going to take off this one. That's just the gear itself. There's going to be balk rings and stuff inside in this thing. And get it off, have a look at it and see. So also there's another little clip sitting around there. Only a very, very small clip, but it's only that little baby there. And yeah, we'll tap that out, pop off that, then get in on that, and it should be off. As simple as that. Okay, the little pin here is pushed up with a punch. I'm just going to grab it with pliers, hoping that she come out. She did. That's that bit. Next bit is that little. Okay, our little clip is off. I just used 2 little screwdrivers just to pry it up the way. That then there, I have a 27 12-sided socket on it. It doesn't fit as snug as any normal bolt, but it does go onto it, and it does catch it. So it sits up there, and I just hit a little gentle tap of a hammer, and you can see it's not falling off. It's actually kind of held on it because they don't fit quite right or something. But it's the only thing I could see or had that would fit it. I don't know if the design of them is slightly different, or my socket's slightly deeper or what, but it will take it off. So that's going up there, and I'm going to put a power tool on it and take off that, okay? Okay. You can see that it just doesn't fit quite right, but it's in there. I took it off. There is little crimps on the side of it, but I don't do anything. Just leave the power tool over. Come them. There's no issue as well either, I don't believe, that it's affecting the gearbox. It's just the impact, of that, and the gearbox rotates for a living, so shouldn't be any problem there. I just gave it a little pull with both my hands, but it slid out as easy as that. There's a little, what do you call it, ball bearing in there for when I suppose when you're selecting gears that it holds them in here, but that came off. I'm putting my hands in at the back of it now as well, so I'm keeping it as, actually, what I'm not seeing is my pin was kind of coming out with me there. So that pin needs to be tapped back, doesn't it? On the other gearbox now, it stayed in there. I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with that, but it was just pushed or something. Anyway, I tapped it. That tap, that's not coming from me, lads. Not single-handed anyway. No, it's not coming. Okay, I'm going to chisel that. Okay. I did just hit a tap and it popped in, so it probably just caught on a burr or something there. Right, this is in theory 5th gear, okay? Now, we'll pop it apart because there's my good one. It'll be better. Yeah, you can actually see that bad. So you can see the very nose. My fingers in the way. The very nose of them chewed off of it. 'em. And then I think this, yeah. We're going. You can see the nose, this side, the nose of these ate off it as well. You try and look at it from the top. See the way they're slanted? See the way them divots are slanted in the very, very top right? You can see it mad there. How would I even put it? I don't know what way you'd put it, but they kind of fit into each other opposite ways, so the more pressure is on the gear, the more it is to hold in, but if they wear, they'll just pop out. I don't know if that makes sense. Right, we'll have a little fast look in here. Okay, these are the good ones. You can see the sides of them. I'm actually looking at it with the camera. There is a slight bit of wear on it. There's nothing like the other one. Look at it again. Nothing like the other one. The other one's chewed to bits. We'll go back in. We'll have a little look. Can we see in there? Again, I think that one is very, very good. Cross-reference to these ones. And that's the same place that we're looking at. So you can see, like twins here, I know they're a bit more assembled here than here because I'm putting them apart. But you can see the difference between there and there. Okay, that's our problem found and proven. Time for this thing to go back in. I'm going to say it's very, very easy again to slide in. It's the simplest job, I suppose, that you could nearly get. But anyway, we'll get back in on the material. Okay, there's a little sleeve there that goes on the big side out the way. That goes on first. There's another little sleeve on the inside of the gear that makes sure that's in place. I did take it off the other one. And then we're going to start trying to sit this thing up, and I wasn't really setting myself up to stick it up and on now, but seems we have it in hand and we're heading there. Might get a little screwdriver. I'm trying to push that tab down with my finger. Come on, baby. Okay, we got the little spud, as they call it, down. We're going to keep on rolling on a little bit further. Just see, it's only a wiggle in a wobble, as we call it. Okay, we're back in place, ready for a nut, clip, and a split pin. That's simple as enough, isn't it? And that's the whole of our good fifth gear, as we call it, or relatively good, okay? So I'm going to stick in a split pin, put on the clip, and put on the nut at this stage. Pin tapped in, clip on, nut tight, little rivets crimped, cleaned up, and cover sat down there. It'll be the sealer around and ready to go back on. Okay, cover back on. Unfortunately, I was doing a CV joint in it as well here, but my CV joint is wrong, so closing it up. Tonight is just putting on the cover, walking away, waiting until we get a CV joint, and then I'll fill it with oil and I'll give it a clean up, I believe, when my sealer is dry. I don't want it to be slobbered all over, so I'll leave that dry and brake cleaner after that. But that was relatively easy, wasn't it? Seemed easy. I'll get a spin in it when it's back together and we have a CV joint in there, and we'll make sure it's not popping out of gear at this point in time. I believe we're fixed anyway. This is going to be relatively handy. Just saves us changing the gearbox, so a shortcut for someone, hopefully, but I will give you a little snippet when I'm on the road. Okay, guys, we're back on the road. Third, fourth, fifth. She ain't popping out. So we're happy days. That little bit worked out anyway, thank goodness. It's a handier and a simple little setup than changing the whole gearbox. Maybe if it helps someone, I don't know, fingers crossed it will. Anyway, for this one, guys, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out. See you later, boys. Fifth gear. Actually, someone's going to look at me. 137,000 miles, okay? Guys, talk to you all next cartoon.